let's see which side that you're on here when it comes to defunding the police or police reform. This is another controversial topic that most people, have a big problem with. Now, on my side, my viewers already know where I stand when it comes to police reform. I don't believe in defunding the entire police because not every individual that owns a house is able to protect themselves when it comes to break-ins, physical harm, or anything of that issue. What I do believe in, what the government needs to do, is they need to put more professionals on the 911 call, because not every disturbance needs police, advancement. Because there's some people who they have episodes, they're crazy. So why not we call a psychiatrist to, let's get some sociologist people out here. Let's get some other people who are professionals that got degrees who can be of help on a 911 call that do not need police. Because what is police trained to do? They're trained to quell riots, problems. So they're not going to look at a crazy person as just a normal individual. They're going to think they're crazy. They're going to tackle them, possibly even kill them. So, and that wasn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? Not all police are out there to arrest somebody. Some go to the scene and they're scared and they use that in defense of killing somebody and they get away with it. So to make it better, we just need other professionals on the call of a 911 of what we need for certain disturbances to not only alleviate most of the pressure off of police, because I do believe that a whole bunch of police officers, the reason why they do commit these innocent murders or anything of that magnitude is due to stress. They get called to any situation and most of them don't even think right. They work too long of hours, go into every situation that does not call for them, and they sometimes react to certain situations off of emotion and not off of analytical thinking like they're supposed to do every situation. So based on that, which one are you riding with? You for the defund the police program or you police reform?
Before I get into it, because I actually have a very complex, not only do I have a complex because, because it was a very popular subject, but I also was a part of actually getting a police department shut down. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think this is actually a very great subject for us right now because, can you even speak about your background?
My background?
Yeah.
As far as like what I went to school for and things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went to college, got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Right now, I do security. I won't say like specific, you know what I'm saying? But I do that. And never been to jail, never been to prison, things of that nature. So.
See, so contrast, because I grew up in jail.
Yeah.
I've been on, don't get me wrong, and I want to go on the record and say, I don't think the police is bad. I think there's bad people that are cops. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had my share of experiences with them before I even turned bad. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just like to point that out that we see things. We're gonna see things differently, but I guarantee you, I see things totally different from you all that's listening because. We was a part of a task force that was put together. I'm not big in it. What I did some law research because I used to be a paralegal, and we was able to get Camden, New Jersey's police department shut down around 2011, 2012. But the reason why I bring that up is because when we did that, crime went down. Crime went down all the way up until last year, 50%. Levels, over 50%. Levels that they haven't seen in 50 years. They haven't seen crime this low since black people were, you know what I'm saying, before black people doped up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I've also seen things that shows me that black people couldn't have gotten dope in the United States at all. Cocaine could not have come in through black people at all, especially in the 60s and the 70s, because what did they own? What ports did they own? What ships did they own? Very, very, very few, and it was highly, highly regulated because, they were colored. So when I think about defunding the police, first of all, that slogan is a very broad slogan. It's a very broad, and it's a disturbing slogan because what you're hearing is, let crime rate rise.
Everyone for themselves, pretty much.
Everyone for themselves. Let's do the purge. That was the first thing that was going on. Black people were like, fuck yeah, but one thing I'm gonna say, black people, y'all don't get out there and police your own fucking community. Shut the fuck up. Now, when it comes to defunding the police, What they did in Camden, New Jersey, after we got them shut down, was that they didn't really defund them. It's not really an example of defunding them. What they did was they reappropriated the funds. They hired, actually he was a sergeant. They boosted him up to a captain, put him in charge of rehiring the police department, retraining them. So the funds went towards retraining, which is what I think we really need with all of the police department. Because first of all, why you can't tell me what a law is? I'm sorry, I need to ask that question. Why can't you tell me what a law? I know the answer to the question. But the thing is, when you're violating somebody's rights, you have to know the law, because that would keep you from violating their rights. You can still push your policies. You can still push your ordinances and your codes without violating somebody's rights or violating the law. Things need to change, such as the certain immunity that they got. I keep forgetting what they call it. But that needs to change. I don't think defunding is the right word that we should be using. Because if we get more cops taking psychology instead of brutality, you know what I'm saying? I think that we'll be able to see a lot more people getting talked out of situations. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, I was just watching the news a couple of days ago, and they had this black dude. He was just violently riding through the fucking crowd, killed 10 people and a little boy. Come on, who thinks to do that? That obviously somebody that snapped mentally, because he just got a bond earlier this month because he from the same shit. Somebody let him out. Why aren't they being held accountable? I'm sorry, that just doesn't make sense. You gave him $1,000 bond for the crime that he committed where he injured somebody with a vehicle, and then he turned around and he killed more people. Somebody needs to be held accountable. Because the internal affairs, I'm sorry, y'all worthless. You're cops. You're cops. What the fuck does that do? Cops killing, cops checking cops? I was just on a post the other day when somebody said cracker versus cracker. We already knew how that was going to turn out. Somebody turned around and they were like, hey, cracker, I ain't a cracker. You ain't a cracker because you ain't a cop. There's a reason why they call them crackers. They was the ones that whipped the fucking slaves, and the whips made the cracker sound. Cracker. Imagine that hitting your back 50, 60 times. That's going to be your name. We don't know your name, sir. So you cracker now. And guess what? They don't tell you this part, but guess what? They were so lazy that they had the slaves whip the slaves. So guess who got that name too? The black cops that be whipping the slaves.
Dang.
So,
go ahead.
That's just my idea of what defunding. We should get back into the psychology of it, break down what exactly, we know where it came from. It was from slave patrol. That's where the police department came from, slave patrol. So we need to change the culture of the slave patrol and bring back, this is what I wanted to do. You people really got to understand this. This is chess, not fucking checkers. I've already put to you that the police department has no constitutional duty to protect and serve. That is not their job. They are not in the Constitution. And this is from the Supreme Court per 2005. Since 2005, they have already told you, not deemed it, because it had already been. They never had a constitutional duty to protect you. They told you in 2005 that they don't have a constitutional duty to protect you. That's from the Supreme Court. So why are we still calling them and then getting mad at them when they don't want to do what you asking them to do? That ain't their job. They don't have to. They're here to protect the corporations. Get it in your head. Once you understand that, then we can start utilizing law better.
Stay focused, gotta keep my head up, gotta keep moving even when you fail. See me while I'm riding, tryna get my bread. I can't let them stop me, you heard what I said. Bruh, diamonds on me dancing, try me, I ain't scared. Ride by my loan.